inspiration and hope for all who come across this podcast and this show. Help us to be channels of inspiration. We ask that of you, God, the universe, and our ancestors. Amen.
Amen. One second.
That one's dead, though. I got two over there.
It's full. There's one charger right there too. We just put that in there.
You just put that. Oh, those were sitting there for a minute. Right up on the.
That's the one for the light.
Oh, so those are
those
are mine too?
Yeah. I put them all on this side so I could just transition behind the camera.
Have to use the Mevo here.
All right, I'm on here, so I'll just get as much as I can. I'll switch them as I need to. Let's go.
You know what? And I took them off. They was charged, so I'm just going to plug up every morning. Whatever we got to show.
Oh, so y'all have it set up where y'all get two angles.
Yeah, two angles. And then we got the. So we also got the.
So I got them on one camera. I got you guys on the other camera. Just go back and forth for the conversation.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Ready, set. Welcome to Conversations with Malik podcast, coming to you from Long Island, New York. I'm glad to have you and thank you all who are listening and watching this show. This podcast is about the stories of transformation of regular people during the basic struggle and pain of life.
That's right.
Everyone has a testimony. We all have survived the darkness. Now let's talk about how we got to the light so we can help our brothers and sisters who still haven't overcome their demons. But guess what?
Talk to me, my brother.
We all have devils on different levels. So through conversations, we use the tools and insight to light the path for hope. Let's have a chat and stop running from our issues. If we live through it, then talking about it probably won't kill us. That's what we're doing. Talking, crying, looking inward so we can grow outward is the theme of this show.
That's right.
The caterpillar transforming into the butterfly is the goal and purpose of this podcast. When you talk about you, I learn about me. Iron sharp as iron,
And steel sharp as steel.
so we can cut through the fog of despair into the hope of today. Welcome to Conversations with Malik. And before we start today's show, please don't forget to follow us at convoswithmalik.com, convoswithmalik.com,
Instagram, Con W Malik.
Facebook, Conversations with Malik.
We on Apple, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, you name it.
And
find us.
And listen, today, because the show that we do once a week with our one of our new co-hosts, right? Ramona in the house. So today the show ain't called Conversations with Malik. It's called Malik and the Family.
That's right.
With special calls, Ramona.
Hi.
We got Jeff Jones in the house.
Yes, sir.
And we have a guest who we're going to be interviewing, a brother who I made his acquaintance at an event, a political event a couple weeks ago, and we just hit it off. We connected. We got Jayson Kerr in the house.
That's right.
Yeah. And listen, before we start today's show, I got to make my rounds, man. You know, listen, I got to thank Kareem the Dream Raheem, the engineer.
Engineer extraordinaire.
The engineer extraordinaire. Yeah.
Gotta give him his props, man. Gotta give him his props.
He does an excellent job. We sound like any podcast out there.
Exactly. Thanks to that brother right there.
Apple
man.
iTunes is clear. The music is ear for music to put with certain shows. The spiritual lectures. We want to thank you for all that you do. Wendell, the cameraman with the plan.
Yes, sir.
Listen, he's hot off for Fashion Week weekend, man. Small boutique fashion week. SB FW 15.
And we killed it.
And we killed it. And he was grinding. And he was on the set. And he did, Wendell, good job. Justin Mons for all your social media work that you're doing. Dawn Michelle from Dawn Michelle Promotions. You know, sending us the guests. Yvonne Diva Daz. Listen, you know, thanks for having us. Preston.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Preston.
Yeah,
first of all, I was watching Preston this weekend.
Preston was doing his thing, son.
And not only was he doing a million things, but it was like flowing seamlessly, but I know that because we was behind them, and it was
I felt his
tough,
energy. I felt Preston's energy when he was going back and forth, and I was like, wow, how could this man it's just natural. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural with how he put everything together. He had people standing where they were supposed to stand. He made sure the traffic came in right.
And I like to see black people. They had an all Asian staff. They had an all Asian white staff. They had their staff also helping out with the models and stuff. But I like to see when black people do something classy, rent the Fashion Mansion, right there on Lexington. Okay, come on, 8th Ave is right there. So now all of the stores, all of the designers. So as we're riding there, you're getting the strategically, because he told me, he said, I wanted you to, whoever comes here had to take the trip through all the fashion.
So they knew what they was doing when they put it all together. And let's talk about how they promoted it too, because you see like them seats was full.
It was sold out.
It was sold out.
You wasn't just
those lines were ridiculous. The way they was packed up there like that.
They sold out the whole weekend.
I gotta get to my seat. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then we was just walking right in.
Yeah, it was like
walking right in. People were looking at that VIP service. Yeah, that's that back in the day, got the bottle service.
Right.
Now you're like, y'all know it's time for like,
you could excuse me, I grabbed my hand. I was not playing. I was living a dream, bro.
I felt living a dream. Yo, and he was, but we got busy and the crowds were coming around us as we was doing it.
And let's talk about our relationship with them too. It all flourished through the result of the show.
That's true.
You know, they sat here, Ms. Diva Daz and them, Delvon, thanks to Delvon and Yvonne. And we had a great show with them, man. We laughed, we joked. Yeah. They came in here, they powdered their face, they hooked themselves up. They official.
And we didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
And see, that's why we talk about you never know when you're auditioning.
You never know. And they love us, yo.
You never know when you don't know who you're around. And so the whole weekend was an experience of, you're around people, because Preston was here. He was sitting over here in the corner.
He was
really unassuming.
He was falling asleep. He was just chilling.
I know that. And then their friends that they
how big he is, right?
CEO,
he was sitting right here.
You never know, son.
The thing I really admired about him was he didn't just put it together and then come in and put on his and then sit back and watch the show and then just direct. He was in there. His hands was dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's because true leaders stay in the field.
Yeah.
True leaders stay in the field.
That's what I admired about it. That he didn't just put it together and said, I gave you what you're supposed to do. Now I'm going to watch the show. Nah, he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Getting dirty.
Yeah.
I really admired that.
Yeah. So all of the models, we're gonna be putting up a lot of footage, man.
Yeah.
Those young girls from Harlem killed it. How they walked the runway. I
was
was like, yo, so much pizzazz, so much.
We gotta get that connection. We can put that
5-year-old, 6 years old. And I said to Jeff, because Jeff's son, how old?
No.
I said, yo, they in trouble. Listen, you should have seen these girls, Mo, walk down the runway.
It was
working it. Not afraid. The who's who was in the crowd.
Afraid who's looking, who's quiet.
Bright lights. And I'm like,
because when we got there, I saw some kids coming in.
Right.
So I'm thinking
I just think
why
they
is
just
there
there?
Guests?
Right.
I thought there was guests gonna be sitting down.
Right.
Those kids that was coming in was going straight to the back. They was actually the models.
And I said to Jeff, I said, I wonder what your son is doing right now. No, I'm just saying. Because in 15 years, he's going to be dealing with them.
And they're already past, way past experience.
Yeah, they on the runway. He at home playing with the game.
Mommy,
playing with the video.
Mommy.
They're not even worried about that.
Mommy, can you give me some juice?
He's living good.
And yo,
that's a fact.
So Jay, and I'm not some of them, a few of them were light skinned, but it was a whole black, dark,
Representation.
beautiful girls. He put it on IG earlier. I'm talking about walking like I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, they owned it. But that's self-confidence.
Self-confidence.
When you got self-confidence, you can wear anything, look like anything. People are like, who's that?
Especially
because self-confidence, you don't wear that. You can smell it. You understand? It's like a cologne that somebody puts on. It ain't the clothes. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the clothes. It's something that's pouring out of you.
Right.
And make somebody walk past and feel that energy. That's what they smell. They're smelling the energy.
Right.
Who's this person? It makes them question you.
Right.
Like, who's this person?
Right.
Because they can feel the vibration of you.
Right.
That's what self-confidence does for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You go walk into the interview with no resume in a job like that.
That's a fact.
That's something that's been inbred in us for the most part. Like, I don't care if you're down. Get up. Put your head up. Walk straight. Keep walking. So what you got holding your shoe? And you're gonna think that's a new style. Keep walking.
Kanye
Hold
did.
your head straight. You know what I mean?
So did.
Yes.
You see what he did?
Yeah. He said, I'm gonna make them pay $1 million for these clothes.
For some hoes.
And they did.
Shout out to Kanye.
And they did. And they
They
did.
sure did.
And they did.
And one moment, one of the girls, when she got down to the end, and I like to, I had fun with it. That camera, the press, they were talking to the models as they was, because somebody walk a little closer, stop, you too close. They were like, get your pictures, give me one more, give me one. And when the young black girls walked down, it was like the whole place stopped in reverence. And one of them stopped and she did her thing, and I was sitting there looking at her, and she looked me in the eye, turned her head, did her hair, and walked off.
Go ahead, girl.
And but that look in her eye was like, it was sort of like she was like, I see that you know I'm beautiful. She was looking.
I know that you know.
Yeah.
I know that you know. I know what you see. Let me swing this up. Let me swing this back.
Swing this back.
Right.
Give me a double take, and then keep moving.
Yo, Jay, before we leave, we gotta show.
You should see the walk.
I gotta see.
You have to see
Yeah.
them.
I know. I had to see it.
She owned it.
Once you.
From the time she came, because they walked up the side like this and then came down this way. From the time she was at the corner right there, like you know what I'm saying, I'm standing on this side watching them come down, just lining up. She fixed herself and she was like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? She was like,
stepping out like
and she came around. As soon as she came around that first step, she was. They was like, oh.
Working it. And yo, man, so we had a good time. Like I said, thank you for Yvonne, Dash, Delvon, Preston, Small Boutique Fashion Week, their 15th year. Thank you for having a conversation.
We really appreciate
Chef Joe's and Wendell. We appreciate the honor and the service there. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about it more. Listen, man, we got the word of the day, and we got Jayson here. I met Jayson from networking, and then come to find out we from the same neighborhood, a building across from each other. Just about, a couple. I'm a little older than her. I ain't too much older than her. I'm a little older, but and then we met from networking. So the word of the day is networking. So I'm gonna start from the top, man, and we bring it around. Jeff, talk to me about networking.
Oh, we was networking when we went to the fashion show. Networking is every day for me, man. I'll talk to a bum. Maybe I could learn something. I'm not in school, but I try to teach myself something every day.
Right.
It's either through, my phone or more so speaking to people. Even when you find out they going through a situation. For me, networking is an everyday thing for me, and I like to use all those tools when it comes to networking to be able to apply it to myself so I could grow. Because I'm always open for growth. So that's what network means to me, man.
Talk to me, Mom.
Absolutely. Networking for me, it's just what you have to do. I don't understand how people say and close out themselves and say, I don't want to talk to nobody I don't know.
I can't understand.
You have to talk to people you don't know. So therefore, since I talk to everybody, I always introduce people who may correlate with each other. So if I know Jeff does a radio show, I'm like, oh, well, you want to promote your product, why don't you call this guy and, go on his show?
Mm-hmm.
I do that. They're like, oh, Mona, he know everybody. Okay, there's a reason for that. And I might be the person to connect you all.
And you was always like that, too.
I've always been like that.
Yeah.
Always.
Nice.
Yeah, you have to.
Talk to me, Jay. Networking, man.
Networking is the key. One of the major keys to any success in any industry, in any place.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because we got that it's an old saying, but it's still relevant because it's a principle, right? So it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is how these millionaires and billionaires actually really elevate or grow their network, right?
Absolutely.
I'll give you a prime example. You look at Rock Nation brunch that just passed, right? They do this every year.
Yep.
If you looked at the bill that's on the Instagram, you see it was, I would say, at least minimum $10 billion in the room. Minimum. Probably the numbers is way off. Because you had Diddy there, you had Jay there, you had Kevin Hart there, you had a bunch of other rappers. Right?
Jay alone.
Believe there.
Jay and Diddy alone, we're talking well over $1 billion.
Right.
Well over.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you had Swiss Beats there.
Right.
Then you had Khaled was there.
Yeah.
You had Rihanna was there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You had, and I'm sure there was a lot of other CEOs and business owners who may not be as celebrity-wise, but their income.
I see 2 Chainz too.
Right. So 2 Chainz was there. And so just using that as an example, imagine all those kings and queens coming together and all building something or networking with each other.
Having a conversation.
That's true.
Networking is so huge that people will come to you and want to know you and continue knowing you because you just did what Mona said.
Right.
Okay, he got a designing business.
Mm-hmm.
I got this guy who is a photographer. Maybe he's matching me. Maybe he could do some pictures for his business. Let me connect these two. You know what's going to happen after that?
Mm-hmm.
Same Mona did that. Those two now, they're going to go to Mona for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because Mona's the plug.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real plug.
Right.
On the street, that's the real plug. Mona's the plug. So now Mona's value increases.
Absolutely.
Right? She's like a product. Her value increases.
Right?
It's almost like when you get nominated. When you get nominated, right, Jay? Automatically, regardless whether you win or not,
you're on a different level.
You're on a different level because you got nominated. What kills me though, Jay, is that a lot of times, I know we have to stick to our own kind. We don't want to tarnish our brand, But that's what kind of kills me because we've even had people that came on the show here that as soon as they came in, it's just the presentation, like how we had everything set up. They just felt like they wanted to be part of this. They didn't care how big they were, like Paris Smith and EPMD. These guys came here. We had a show with them, and it's like that's what kills me. A lot of us. I don't know if it's our own kind. It could be some whites too. They feel as if they won't be in cahoots with people that's underneath them because it'll kind of tarnish their brand. That kills me a little bit, but I have to understand in some sense because again, it's a business. They worth a certain amount at some point.
Right.
So why, do business or even kind of associate yourself with somebody beneath you?
Depends though.
Well,
Depends.
Right. Because like you could talk to a bum and get some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the representation; it's the wisdom inside of the source that you're talking to.
And then you got the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. So the law of reciprocity says that whatever you give, you get back 10 times fold. The Bible speaks about it, right? First of all, everything you see in the Bible, right? Everything you see in these success books, they all get it from like 3 books in the Bible. Proverbs is the main. Steve Harvey talks about this. It's true, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at the law of reciprocity, which most people who make 7 and 8 figures, they understand this.
Right.
Bill Gates and Warren Buffett understand the law of reciprocity. Okay, I may not do huge business with someone who is at this level because it may quote unquote tarnish my brand because I'm here. But I will at least do something behind the scenes with this business, because whether it's my money going into it or not, because the law of reciprocity will kick in for me and my brand. Because once you give, it comes back. I don't care. You could be giving for the wrong reason. The law still works the same. It's the law.
Prince did a lot of stuff like that too.
Absolutely.
He did a lot of stuff that we don't know.
Absolutely.
Because I heard he was involved with some satellite businesses as well. People didn't know that. Prince did a lot of things, but he didn't want to actually mention. Don't mention my name.
True. Cam Williams too. As much as he gets a lot of flack because of the craziness he does sometimes, That has done a lot of things for a lot of people.
I didn't know that.
On the low, bought, supported them. On the low, spent a lot of money.
I think a lot of celebrities do it.
I heard the story. Putting them up, bringing them to shows.
Yeah.
Yo, open up for me. Yeah, all that stuff.
A lot of people.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
So what's networking mean for you?
Yeah, so networking is making relationships, building with people that you connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't just network just for the sake of networking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I don't connect with. And I don't just network looking for any opportunity.
Right.
Some people are scavenger opportunists.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between networking and being an opportunist.
Mm.
Some people are opportunists.
Yeah.
So they network a lot,
right,
but they never become successful.
Because they're just doing it for sole purpose.
Because the intention behind it is, so, hey, I'm just being an opportunist. I'm just seeing who I can meet so what is the purpose? So the purpose of networking is so that I can connect with somebody who connects to the industry that I'm in or shares a similar vision.
Right.
And then not only that, do I think I can gel with the person?
Right.
So what happens is a lot of relationships start out and then they break and they falter over time. You didn't give yourself time to know the person, meet the person.
Right.
Me and Jay might wind up doing some stuff a year from now, right? But I might have given myself time to know Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay come on the show, we talk a couple times, maybe meet at a couple events, maybe he invites me out to a social thing he's doing, I invite him over. Okay, we get a chance to talk, we drive, Malik, you drive me home, and I had a couple drinks, okay, so I drive home, right? And I find that, okay, there's some type of connection there.
Gotcha.
Then you start aligning with the person.
Introduce yourself to him on a different level.
Cultivate the relationship.
That's why people have networking events. That's why they have social events. That's why this weekend we were still auditioning. And that's why I was watching how I moved, even though we were invited into the circle. I didn't want to overdo. I was talking to Wendell. I can't stand people that you kind of let them in and then they act like they've been running with you for 15, 20 years. And you're like, yo, you're new. Please act new. So the fact that we letting you in is showing you we kind of like you, but don't act like you've been here with us all this time. And so I wanted to keep my space when I saw certain stuff. I left the room. I know I could be in there, but I left the room when I saw a person about to have a conversation with another person. I'm an owner. I know they're about to talk about something that I don't need them to say, hey, Malik, could you step out for a second?
Right.
Yeah. You know your place.
And then you make people go, yo, I kind of like him. Like when you walk out. I like him. I like how he moves. Don't over. I'm not going to try to bite. I didn't bring a whole bunch of people the next day, getting people in and all of that. Nah, man. Take it easy.
Right.
Relax.
It's slow. Let it happen. Things will happen.
Organically.
I see business relationships mess up because people try to force it because they think you might got 50,000 or he got 60 or whatever. They see what you're getting. They try to meet who you know. And just honesty and integrity goes a long fucking way.
It goes everywhere.
Absolutely.
It goes everywhere.
And we'll move on to current events. I don't know how. I'm sorry, man.
What is it? Oh, God. Somebody take my hat off.
Malika's getting a little emotional there.
Calm down. What happened?
For that person that needs to know that. For that.
Yeah. We went in last night.
So in case you didn't know, for that person now you know.
So, you know, and listen, man, we're gonna do a couple of current events, and then we're gonna talk to our guest here, Jayson Kerr. We're gonna talk to him about the great things that he's doing. And you know, I wouldn't have anybody on the show if I didn't think they brought value and that they were interesting and that they also had a story and was willing to touch on their story of transformation, caterpillar to the butterfly, right? So with all the Jayson looking good, looking dapper, right? Jayson got a story, but
it's going to inspire others.
we want somebody watching this,
right?
And be like, yo, man, I can clean my shit, I can clean myself up too, right? So we're gonna get into that. So listen, I came across this article, and from doing the show, I'm doing a lot of research and looking into stuff. In Greensboro, North Carolina, Greensboro team's hard work paid off in a big way. Jasmine Harrison, 17, was accepted to 113 colleges and universities and awarded more than $4.5 million in merit-based scholarships. Incredible. Harrison will graduate from the academy at Smith on May 24th with an expected GPA of 4.0. With help from the school's faculty and her mother, she was able to apply to all those schools for just $135. Networking, resourcing, meeting people helping you.
Yeah.
All three are historically black colleges and universities. In fact, she was able to apply to 53 HBCUs with just one common black application and got into 26 that way. So that's some information. She was one application. When I got the first couple in the mail, I was like, okay, this is really happening. I didn't really think I'll be able to do that. Harrison said, listen. And then she talked about on those late nights when I was filling out those applications with my mom, we just felt like we cannot do this. We just ended up singing gospel songs together to get through the night.
That's why I got her to get all those acceptance.
Won't he do it?
Gospel music.
Yo, so singing gospel songs.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Wow.
Yo, that touched me, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gospel music is strong.
Oh yeah.
It will get you through.
Oh yeah.
That's why I got all that acceptance, yo.
That's amazing.
Real talk.
And so we got
4.5.
we got the Grammys going on. You know, I really, I don't know, man. I was kind of tired from Fashion Week, but the Grammys, came up.
Did you want to watch it this year?
I mean, I don't really do the Grammy. I mean, I don't really. Since I left the music industry, I don't really watch.
It doesn't attract you anymore.
Award shows. I mean, the music business.
So what happened with the whole Cardi B and Nicki?
I mean, Cardi B did. Her performance was dope. Right. His performance is dope, man.
Right.
Amazing.
As far as Wendell has some stuff with Nicki Minaj and both of them, but I think her performance was good.
Okay.
She did her thing. And I'm sure a bunch of strippers is inspired how far she came. Yo, son,
inspired the strippers.
She definitely inspired the strippers.
It is another way.
Because let me tell you something. It almost seemed like yesterday, like Envy said in the morning show. That was before she was even on television with the reality show. Envy was like, "Yo, I was just sitting home and having dinner with my family, and I heard the doorbell keep ringing. Somebody was ringing the doorbell like a madman." He went to the door, it was Cardi B. She was like, yo, I ain't leaving this stool unless you listen to the CD.
Wow.
So
she did say she rode harder for herself than anybody would ever for her.
Yeah.
And so when no one wanted to give her a listen, she pushed it out.
She pushed it out. She networked. She probably, sucked some dicks. She did what she had to do, son.
Wow.
She did what she had to do. Yo, son, she did what she had to do.
Yo, seriously?
Yo, I believe that's what she said.
I believe that's what she did.
She ain't gonna say it. Yo, son, she ain't gonna say it.
I think he said it off the record.
Yo, listen. We talking about
allegedly.
You said
allegedly.
This is podcast.
Yeah. No, you're not listening. You said allegedly?
Allegedly.
That's your opportunity to tune it up.
Yo,
allegedly.
Allegedly. If y'all want to say allegedly, y'all can say it that way. Y'all what? I ain't gonna just say that.
Anything is possible.
No, because you don't know what that girl did.
Yo,
you don't know. what she did.
Yo, listen, I just know some niggas smash just for her to get this.
She's just very fortunate.
Wow. She grinds. She worked hard.
She grinds.
She
I think
did.
it's beyond fortunate.
And she made him grind.
You want to know what I think is beyond fortunate?
She did grind.
Let Jay talk. I want to hear Jay.
Come on, that's great. Thank you. That's I'm here for you. I'm going to check in.
I'm trying to jump in front of the camera right now and be like, it wasn't me.
No, Cardi.
I think it's more than fortunate because, but you can see her work ethic, right?
Yes,
Even when she had
absolutely.
things, she was still torn, right? Like, yeah, she was still
When she was
doing projects.
she
She was still getting it done. So, work ethic and consistency will beat anything.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
I mean, if you don't give up, it has to come.
Because there have
It
been
has to
plenty
come.
women in the industry that have maybe been on their knees, but not have gotten as far as Cardi B.
That's true.
And let's be clear though, that's a lot of industries. It's not just the music
Right,
industry.
right.
That's almost that's almost a lot of careers. A lot of women do
That's
things
why we
like
got
that,
the Me Too movement this
unfortunately,
year.
right?
I mean, the music industry, that's just, for women, it's sad to say, but, women, man, they have to stoop down, man.
No, they don't.
It's not-
A lot of them
don't.
suffer. A lot of them, they may not have to, but a lot of them feel like they have to be able to get to where they at. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them, Jeff.
A lot of them. Yo, listen.
So you think
They may
a lot
not
of
say.
them-
They may
some
not
feel
say
that.
nothing.
Some feel that.
Yo, listen.
I mean,
Alicia
a lot of
Keys.
women, I think more so
Think
men
Alicia
have
Keys.
Alicia Keys said-
said,
Alicia Keys said, y'all can go back. The facts is, y'all can go YouTube it.
Oh,
Alicia Keys herself, she said, Flex tried to get at her. She said a whole bunch of DJs tried to get at her.
I'm
They
sure
didn't even want to
she's a
play her
beautiful
records.
woman.
They didn't want to play. They want to try to get at her. So, it's a mystery whether she let them get it. I mean, but my thing is that
No, because men sometimes not we, right? But men in general, they'll put women in these positions to
In
make them
every
feel that way.
facet, it doesn't matter.
Any
Yeah.
industry, they make you.
Yeah.
If you're in a man of power, some men do make women feel that way.
Jay,
This is what you got to do.
look at the
And
reality
as a
shows.
woman, you have to call their bluff. I'm like, no,
Look at the reality shows. You see it.
that's not what we do today.
It's not what we doing.
That's not what we
Some
do.
girls do it. Some women
Some
do
girls
it.
do it,
Some
man.
women do.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers.
That's the ones that's less confident about themselves.
I've never been there.
They're not confident. They have low self-esteem.
Well, I wouldn't say it's less confident. Some may have seen someone else get ahead and say, well, shoot, this is not going to hold me back. But, you know,
Yeah, but I think this also is a pressure
Oh,
of powerful men. Powerful men being in powerful places.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what it is.
But that's why-
Dangling the carrot
and
of
thank God for the Me
opportunity
Too movement right
over
now.
you.
Right.
And then you're like, okay,
Right.
what do I do? Like Harvey Weinstein, they would come in his office, and his office was like an apartment. And so of course he has a shower in his office. So he would just like undress and go get in the shower and like take the clothes off from the bathroom. And they're like, well, I was here for an interview. Like, you know what he would just
You are.
This
This is the way I do.
This is the way I do it.
Let me see if you qualify. Let me see if you qualify.
I'm horrible. You're
Jason, you are.
Y'all are so entertained because no man, no woman should have to go through it. It should be about your talent. It should be about experience. It should be about knowledge.
Absolutely right.
And it has to stop.
And that's why a lot of
You gotta
these
cut the
cats is getting in trouble now.
That and we're thankful for
A
it.
lot of these cats is getting in trouble now, man. And so listen, I don't know, just the Grammys in general, I don't know if it still holds the same weight as
It
it
doesn't.
used to.
That's why they
No.
That's why they
Well, in
cut
the
Drake
music-
off.
That's
That's
exactly
why
what
they
I'm
cut
talking
Drake
about.
off.
No. In the
I
music
swear
industry,
they cut Drake off.
listen, in the music,
too.
in the music industry, it
Well,
holds a lot of
she ran
weight.
out of time. They
The
cut Drake
Grammys
off.
in the music industry, whether you win or not,
Yeah,
it holds a lot of weight. As soon as you're nominated,
Yeah,
you're able
hold
to renegotiate your contractual agreements that you have with the record company. Like,
Really?
The
Shaw
Grammys
Money's
are
working
Oscars
with Joyner
of the
Lucas.
music
It
industry.
is.
There's an Oscar
Shaw
of the
Money,
music industry.
yeah, Shaw Money's working with Joyner Lucas,
Mm.
and he was nominated yesterday. So I hit up Shaw and I said, "Yo, congratulations on that nomination," because I know automatically, he's going to renegotiate his agreement.
Because even nominated puts you in a higher caliber.
Automatically.
Right.
So it does mean a lot.
It does.
It means a lot to the music industry.
Right.
But
to the public,
we
we don't care.
We don't care about the Grammys anymore.
do you think social media has like killed the whole Grammy?
Bodies.
Because people can become stars.
Bodies.
Yes. Well, that's, I mean, actually, social media is a testament to why Cardi B is where she is today. Because Cardi B is a social media queen, and they're the one that put her on top.
Right. But a lot of people are coming from the social media.
Yes.
Because that's the era we're in now.
Yes.
Right. That's the new TV.
Right.
They said the average person spends 8 hours on social media a day. You believe that's the numbers?
Yeah.
8 hours.
I do.
That's
On average.
That's a whole payday.
I'm on the day.
That's a whole payday.
Yeah,
It
is.
Well, people use that as an opportunity to make money too, you know,
True.
on social media.
True, but
That's the job.
they say the masses do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just collectively throughout the day, because they said that the average person wakes up, the first thing they do is grab their phone.
What happened last night?
Because these little devices we have,
It's come gone.
bro, you drive a mile away from your house, and you like you in the car, you like, with my phone. Oh, right, you turn it right back. It's like, yo, wait up, yo, I got my phone.
That's a fact.
I gotta get my phone.
That's a fact.
I gotta get my phone.
That is so
It's true. My phone broke for 4 days and I went through withdrawals.
Did you?
I was looking like Dave Chappelle in what's that skit he did with the
That's a long time. Take 4 days.
I was like, y'all gonna ship this phone? Why's this taking so long? Tyrone Bingham's.
Anybody did it right.
Tyrone Bingham's.
Can I borrow a phone? Anybody have a phone I can use?
So you got your iPad to your place, somebody call.
Listen, so moving right along. So each week there's 8 communities that were destroyed. 8 black, thriving, self-contained communities that was destroyed from white vigilantes. And everybody knows about Rosewood and Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we touched on Tulsa last week. We'll touch on Rosewood maybe next week. But I wanted to, talk about so in Washington D.C. in 1919, post-war Washington D.C. roughly 75% white was a racial tinderbox. Housing was in short supply and jobs so scarce that the ex-doughboys in uniform panhandled along Pennsylvania Avenue. However, Washington's black community was then the largest and most prosperous in the country, with a small but impressive class of teachers, ministers, lawyers, businessmen concentrated in Detroit Park neighborhood near Howard University. By the time Red Summer was underway, unemployed whites bitterly envied the relatively few blacks who were fortunate enough to procure low-level government jobs. Many whites also resented the influx of African Americans into previously segregated neighborhoods around Capitol Hill, Foggy Bottom, and the old downtown. Check this out. In July 1919, white men, many in military uniforms, responded to a rumor of, what do you think they responded to? See who can guess what they was responded to was alleged to happen.
Somebody got raped?
Rumored arrest of a black man for rape with 4 days.
The military responded to that?
Many in military uniforms. So they worked, and it was a rumor that a black man was arrested for rape of a white woman, which led to 4 days of mob violence. They rioted, randomly beat black people on the streets, pulled others off of streetcars and attacked. When police refused to intervene, the black population fought back. Troops tried to restore order as the city closed salons, theaters to discourage assemblies. When the violence ended, 15 people had died, 10 whites, including 2 police officers and 5 African Americans. 50 people were seriously wounded and another 100 severely less wounded. It was one of the few times when white fatalities outnumbered those of blacks. Because Tulsa, Oklahoma was that was, you know what I'm saying. And then also in Knoxville, Tennessee, August 1919. So I don't know what was going on that year. A race riot in Knoxville, Tennessee broke out after a white mob mobilized in response to what? Oh, man.
Damn.
Rape. What the hell? Raping a white woman. The 5,000 strong mob stormed the county jail searching for the prisoner. They freed 16 white prisoners, including suspected murderers, and let them out.
Mm-hmm.
After looting the jail and the sheriff's house, the mob moved on and attacked the African American business district. Many of the city's black residents, aware the race riots had occurred across the country that summer, so it was a countrywide day, had armed themselves and barricaded the intersection of Vine and Central to defend their businesses. 2 platoons of the Tennessee National Guard's 4th Infantry, led by General Edward Sweeney, arrived, but they were unable to halt the chaos. The mob broke into the stores, stole firearms and other weapons on their way to the black business district. Upon arrival, the streets erupted in gunfire as black snipers extinguished fire with both rioters, because you got to realize it was people home from World War One who knew how to, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee National Guard at one point fired 2 machine guns indiscriminately into the neighborhood, eventually dispersing the riots. And, so basically, others were buried. Only 2 people died, but the blacks, they fled, allowing the guardsmen to take control of the community, but ultimately they defended their business district, so they wasn't destroyed. So I kind of wanted to just give, because it all in like
it's
Rosewood.
How,
there was times where we stood up.
Yeah.
And so that story would never be, why can't that be a movie where we stood up with guns, had black snipers, and we didn't get destroyed?
Right.
Why do you just give us Rosewood?
Yeah.
Right.
What about the times in D.C. when 10 whites was killed and only 5 blacks?
Can't do that.
Or here.
They can't do that.
Knoxville, Tennessee, I ain't know nothing about that. Where they stood and held down their business district. So, man, we've created business districts across the country.
Successfully.
This is us coming out of slavery.
Yeah.
So my question for a future show is going to be, we had more unity then and were more business savvy and organized how the Jews were coming straight, only 1 generation out of slavery. Why 3, 4 generations out of slavery, we can't do the same thing? Because it's watered down.
Well, I think history is repeating itself.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
might be seeing it sooner than later.
We might be getting back to it.
We might be
I hope
getting
we
back
can
to
get
it
back
because
to it,
but not in a good way, because it has to go left before it could go right.
Oh, so you're saying some of the stuff we're going through with Trump and all this stuff is going
It's
to be
rearing
fire
its ugly head.
to
So these
get
are
us
some
back.
of the things that we need to do, because we don't need inclusion as much as we wanted it.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? It's the segregation was a powerful moment for us.
Right.
Because we were all we had.
Right.
We weren't inclusive, so therefore we couldn't fit in with them because they didn't want us.
Right.
So we had to depend on ourselves.
Right.
We had to build our own businesses.
Gotcha.
We had to have our own restaurants.
Gotcha.
We were all we had.
Right. And then a lot of black businesses went out of business when segregation was disbanded, because now everybody was going to shop at the white-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
Instead of
and we're going to buy their clothes, and we're going to live in their neighborhood. Integration.
Wow.
When segregation is was doing very good for us.
We could talk about this one.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So
So
deep.
and this is Black History Month, so we're gonna definitely get more into this. And listen,
the shortest month in the year.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, we at the interview portion of the show. We're here with Jayson Kerr from JK International. And before we get into his story, I want him to tell us briefly what exactly he does and what JK International is about. Talk to me, Jay.
Cool. So I'll kind of push myself out the way, highlight the business, because it's the mission of the business and the vision of the business is more important to me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So JK International is a business I created from the mission and the vision that God gave me in my life. So once I recognized what I was created for, I knew what I had to do. I just didn't know it was going to be in the form of a business, right? So what the business does is we focus on changing the minds of people, right? More importantly, we focus on the young black man. That's our focal point. Now we open it to everybody, but our focal point is the young black man everywhere we can find. Social media, neighborhoods, doesn't matter. Because once you can change the system or the frequency in somebody's mind, you will change the way they dress. You'll change what they buy. You'll change how they operate in society, right? The only way to lessen crime is not taking the criminals out. You got to change their mind.
Yes.
Right? That's how you stop crime. You got to change their mind. So what the business does is we put on workshops, seminars, programs where we're getting ready to. I have some people that's come on to a team now, so they're helping me, and I'm so grateful for it as I'm helping them as well. Where we're going to put on some courses online, some programs where you don't even have to come to the workshop. You can go right online, and you can take these courses, right? And we get some investment courses as well, real estate courses as well, and things like that. What I found though is you could tell someone about money all day long, but if their mind isn't switched to it, you just wasted a lot of time and money. So our focus is the mind first. Yeah, I'll give you all the juice. I'm gonna send you where to make the money. You're gonna do that. But if your mind is not on that tune, we just wasted an hour or 2 hours talking to you for no reason.
Yeah.
I just taught you all these skills that you're never gonna use because they went right here and the left. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's the point of the business. That's the real focal point of the business. What's also in it is that kind of slip God and Jesus into the undertone of the business. Nobody knows this, right? Well, of course you know now, right? But you don't notice that I do it when I speak, right? I use a lot of Bible references, but I do it smoothly, right? And I had a kid, and I know it's working. It's something God told me to do. He told me to orchestrate it this way. And it's funny because a young man I met and kind of took him under my wing, mentoring him, things of that nature. And well, kind of young man, but him specifically, I have a special place in my heart for him. And he started asking me about my walk with God. And you know, what church you go to, I want to go to church with you. Well, why? Why did he do that? And he started breaking down. He told me why he did, but I knew why he didn't know I knew. Because I was specifically doing it for a reason, to feed his subconscious. So he looked at me, he's like, okay, in order for me to be this man, or at least emulate him, what's the main factor he always goes back to? God. Oh, then that means I need to know God. If I want to be successful like him, I need to know God. Right? So that's the mission. That's the vision, the underlying vision. Is now I take myself out of it. So wherever they meet God, I'm not saying, hey, get in my car, we all going to church. I'm still down for that. I do that sometimes. But it's the influence from a leader that makes people move, right? And so it's the influence of the undertones that make them say, you know what? Let me go entertain God at least. Maybe I never did. Maybe I prayed one time, but let me go see what God's about. So that's like my own ministry. Yeah. You want to say? Yeah. So that's why I call myself a market minister. I'm not a pulpit minister. I'm a market minister. I'm in the field. Yeah. I'm a leader that never left the field. I love the field. I love the grind. I love the grind. You'll never see me just in the seat at the big table in the big office. You'll see me there, and then at lunchtime you'll see me in the field. While everybody eating, I'm working. While you sleeping, I'm working. Yeah. While you at a party, Jay working.
And those are the most effective.
Right? Yeah. I go to bed at 11, I wake up at 4:30. Next year I'll wake up at 3:30. The year after that I'm gonna wake up at 2:30. I got goals. This is how I move. Right? And so I just like to highlight the business because I'm not important. I mean, I'm important for myself, right? But the mission is more important than the man.
Right.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Did that answer?
No.
Okay.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Jay. Is it sounds more like you a mentor, and which is good, and it's something that I've always asked to be part of mentoring programs and stuff like that. People that's looking to do things, and mentoring others, and I always try to kind of fit certain things in my schedule, even if I'm not present where those individuals at, I'm able to talk to them over the phone and stuff, which is a good thing. I also was thinking at some point I wanted to start something like that on my own and get brothers together. But I needed certain types of people. So I'm just trying to kind of lay it all out. I love what you're saying. I like the energy. I love the positiveness, because I think that's important.
And before you got to that, I hear the passion.
Mm-hmm.
The passion always comes from somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So sort of like when I went on my little
Your
rant,
tangent.
my tangents, right? It just happens. Like my tangents come from nowhere. I'm like, yo, what just happened? And here in the house, I do that. They know, my family know that. You know, my wife be like, oh, Tracy says he's on another one of his rants. And everything be cool. Like it'd be not a cloud on the horizon, and I'll just rant and then come back down. It's like,
Just a bit for a second.
But so the passion comes from somewhere, right? And so, you know, you talked about, you know, in your questionnaire, the 9 months in court on trial, facing 17 years in prison. You had some bumps in the road growing up as a young African American teen in Jamaica Queens. Talk to me about some of your bumps in the road.
Man, when I was younger, I had a lot of attempts on my life. Multiple. One time they shot up the car. The car I was in, I wasn't driving. It's funny because they said that there was one bullet. I was in the passenger seat, and there was one bullet that they found in the trunk, still lodged in the trunk. And they said the direction that it was going, whoever was in the passenger seat was either going to get hit with a point that had been paralyzed or dead. But it just so happened to get stuck in between the trunk to my seat. Right. There was also that's a whole nother part of the story. There was one time where I tried to take my life and the gun didn't work. That's a whole nother part of the story. I've been dealing with chronic depression my whole entire life. I was born with it, quote unquote, what they say, but I still deal with it now, believe it or not. When I say this, people are like, no. Like, yeah, I have my days, but it's the new being that I built inside of me that I am now today. That wrestles with it and most times puts it to bay immediately, right? But there were times where I remember I disappeared off the face of the earth for like 9 months. I went up to like 170. That's a story. I'm sorry, I'm just like
it's okay.
So I used to be in the street when I was young, right? You know, your typical quote unquote, they say, you know, neighborhood, you know, boy. But I was never like the gangster, right? I was around the gangsters. For some strange reason, the gangsters loved me from an older age. They just like took a liking. I was always short, so they was like, yo, who's this little short dude? Spotty a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's this dude? And so I was never the one going out like, yo, you're gonna do some drive-bys, but I was around those dudes, right? And so just the influence in your environment, in your circle, you're around 5 smokers, eventually you will smoke. It is a fact. It will happen. You emulate what you're around. If you're around 5 people who make $50,000 to $60,000, I guarantee that's your salary. And people don't even know this is. It's not even you. It's not you. Most of it is your influence. You don't even know. That's why you cap yourself, right? And so because of the influence of the group I was around, I became and I emulated the group, right? My parents didn't have a lot of money growing up, right? Typical in the hood, you know. I grew up with both my parents, thank God. Right? God was in the house, but they both was fighting. They came from another country. They was fighting for their good, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? And then you see your family members, you go to school with them, they got Jordans on and all this stuff. So that kind of spiraled me. Like, I'm like, yo, why am I going to school with you know, like wash down stuff? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, mom, these are from Payless. People gonna notice.
It's from Bobby's.
What's the brand?
They got trees.
Yeah, so what's the brand? I'm laughing because I used to have balloons.
Yo,
I had kangaroos, bro.
My mom was kangaroos.
You said, I don't know what kangaroos
From
are.
Buster Brown's on the ad.
Yo, son. Buster Brown's is hush puppies, right?
No, Buster Brown's was the store, but it had the sneakers that.
No, but hush puppies.
They were like, it was the back in the days Payless.
With the white guy with the dog.
Right, with the dog. And I couldn't get regular skippies. I had to have balloons.
Yo, son, y'all don't know nothing about Bobby's, yo. Oh, Flatbush.
Yo, my mom was so smooth, bro. She got me a pair of sneakers one time. I had a letter J on it. She was like, nah, baby, these your sneakers. I went to school. Maggie, I'm like 10. She was like, "Hey, your sneakers." I went to school with lit. I'm like, "Yo, bro, what you talking about? It's my sneakers. I got my name on my sneakers." It was like, bro. Yeah, I'm talking about like a kid moment. It was like, bro, you got the washes. Like, what is that? What are those?
He had the exclusive favors.
But because of the brokenness and the fighting for income, I didn't grow up with no like, yo, you get a house and all that stuff. I was unheard of.
Right.
So what we do, we see the hustlers. You making money? So I started hustling. Then I started hustling in my school. Selling to the security guards. Selling to the security guards.
Oh wow.
Because they smoke weed. That's where I started. And from there I went into crack, went into cocaine, started moving weight. Then there was a point where that's all I was doing. That's all I was just traveling. I was just hustling.
School fell to the wayside.
Yeah, I can't even tell you a school story. Yeah, I dropped out of high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like a super senior. Remember that? Remember super senior? I was like a super senior. Yeah. And then I dropped out. Now years later, I got my GED and went off to college, and I told you that story about that's how I went down. I gotta get into that story real quick too. But just a duration of time where I was just in the street, and after that attempt on my life, I was like, oh, we got strapped up. So at that time, I was still doing music. I was rapping and stuff like that. I was doing shows too at that time.
You was a rapper?
Oh yeah, for sure. Real talk.
Okay.
Real talk. And
who's your rap name?
Glory.
Glory.
Okay.
Glory. Before that it was Tom. It meant like the illest MC ever. It was like hyphenated.
Okay.
Yeah. I managed to do my thing, right?
But whenever people say that, I have them kick one of their first original
I don't
raps.
even remember.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on now, you got something.
Oh, Jeff says the same thing, man.
To me all the time.
Like y'all don't remember.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go to the story. I'll get you later.
But now can I see you blazing his eyes? He's being misleading.
I love you.
I'm not gonna call you a liar, but you're being misleading. He knows this.
Okay, we'll get you. Go ahead. So talk to me. So you're rapping at the time.
Yeah, I'm doing all these things, and then I was like, we gotta strap up. So strapped up, bought 4 pieces. Getting one of my cousins, strapped him up too, because he was in the car too. So strapped him up too, and we just in the street, hustling, partying, bottle service, all that stuff. I took a burner everywhere I go. Everywhere. Matter of fact, my ex-girlfriend would tell you, she would say like, yo, we used to, remember Green Acres Boys used to have the movie theater? If you remember, there was like a little cement, like cage type of thing. They always had like right
on the side.
Yeah. I used to put my burner right into one of the rocks and open the cage. Yeah. I know it's like forbidden. I used to do it every time we went to the movies. Matter of fact, to the point where I almost forgot one time. It was walking and she's like, baby, no. And I was like, oh shit, let me go. Because that's how much I was strapped up. So I would not go anywhere without my burner. Nowhere. I wouldn't go nowhere without my burner. Studio with my burner. Everywhere, like, it was underneath my pillow. I was that paranoid. When you come that close to death like that, and that wasn't the first time. When I used to be Loke too, back in high school. So I was affiliated with the Crips, right? And then at one point they had beef with there's another gang inside the Latin Kings that called the Nietas, and back to back. I don't know if they still. Yeah. So we went up to what high school it was, and the bus we were on got shot up. Yep, bus they shot that whole. I don't know if it was an OG or something, but he Uzi'd that whole. I don't know if anybody got hit to this day, but yeah, I don't know like passengers, but they shot up that whole week. We were hiding, but I remember one time we had to hide behind a building because there was like 3 of them running in the middle of the street with runners looking for us, looking for me and some other people. It's crazy stuff I've been through, man. Just nuts. But it was that era that I was like, just like I didn't care. I was just,
like the 90s, right?
Yo, you're not gonna date me. I'm not into that. I'm not into that. I'm not late 2000. My brother still look 22, 23. You knew that was coming. Nah, but I was doing all that, and then I got a call just to speed it up. I got a call one day. Make this little drop, and I don't know how I still to this day I don't know who pointed it out. Somebody did, but someone was like, gave him like, yo, he's in that career, right? And it's funny, I fell asleep, so I made the deal, got the bread, fell asleep, and my phone was going on. My phone was on vibrate. That's just what saved my life. Because other than that, I probably like really, really, because they would call me with the work and everything, right? And it's crazy because I finally picked up the call, but they dropped it, I guess, right after like the last call. Like, somebody ring. I picked up the last one. They must have just So when I got it, I was like, hello? They already banging. So they couldn't find me, right? Now, what I didn't know is I had bait money in my hand. The money that they had, they gave to, that person. And I had to, so what they did was illegal. They kicked open the door that the person pointed me out to, right? Well, saving my life was my brother. I told his dad, I love him to death because he yelled downstairs like, yo, because they kicked open the door and had him on the floor. They thought he was me. Had to burn it to his dome, like followed him. The house was surrounded. It was crazy. House was surrounded. I'm talking about some real movie stuff. Like, it's crazy. And I was interested because I just read it. So I had a lot of work. I mean, when I mean a lot of work, I mean a lot of work. Flushed it all. Once I heard I was like, yo, went right to the bathroom, flushed up. By the time they came to where I was already like this. You feel me? I was already, the dumb thing, I didn't know I had like a quarter of a gram in the drawer, something like that, for a fiend, like a day before. I was supposed to give him off a consignment because he was giving me, mad people. And I forgot it was tucked in and they found out. But what did it? Why they even brought me in? Because of the bait money. Then they found the scales. You can't. Ain't no denying. And it was residue. All this stuff. Remember, I just finished doing my stuff.
Intent to sell.
Yeah. So it's crazy. They called me with that. I had a good lawyer, same lawyer that 50 Cent had. So shout out to him, Mr. Chappelle. Yeah. Shout out to him. And I was going to court for about a year. Didn't know whether, and they wanted to put me funny on like parallel with like one of the fiends who they kind of use in the scenario with me, right? She's not the one who snitched me out because she didn't know where I live. So she was working with somebody. I still don't know the true story, but I had my lawyer separate the trial. So only thing to say, he said, "Cause we didn't separate the trial. We the trial out together, bro. You'd have done that down. Wow. You'd have done that down. I'll probably be. I would have got out a couple, like 2-3 years ago.
So your brother actually was the one.
My brother saved my life. Bro.
What brought you out of the street life? Because I know what my series of moments were.
Was that not it?
That was one of it. But my ex-girlfriend, this last one who I was actually going to propose to, her influence brought me back into the church, which stopped me from doing, because I would still have one foot, even though, and there's a couple of years in between that time frame, like the court, me being the court, and me her. Right. But in between that time, I was still not doing drugs, but I was still doing mad illegal stuff, making a whole bunch of money. Right, yeah, doing all type of craziness. I used to be the phone guy, I had like 30 phones. Make like 10 bands, right? 10 bands in like an hour. Yeah. So when you get to that level of money, you don't want to read the streets.
Where you gonna go? Kmart? Walmart? Where you going?
But it was the influence of her, because she was going to church at that time. She still went to church. So it was the influence of her getting with her and like, you know what? Let me make that shit. Let me give my life to the Lord. Because I come from a spiritual house. Both my parents.
That's always there. So even in the darkness, it's there.
Absolutely. You can't run from God.
You comfortable.
It's also that little cloud.
It's
leaning over you while
she actually
saved because already.
So for her saving your life,
you
said she's your ass.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast, bro. But I feel where you're going.
I mean, you said your brother saved your life.
Yep.
She saved God for him.
Yep.
But when you said she was your ex, I was just wondering, like, she saved your life.
Well, preparing to.
But she's a human. She's a human being. So
right. So people go to things.
But she's the reason why I wrote the book too. You can get to that in a little bit.
Okay. 2013, you lost everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But when people say that, I want to talk about it. What do you mean by you lost everything? I always question when people say that because what is everything is the question. So what was your everything? When you say you lost everything, what do you mean by you lost everything?
I break it down to you. Both emotional, physically and financially. I lost my car.
Yeah, it's tough.
I lost my bank account was repossessed. My relationship was repossessed. My emotions were repossessed. I had no control of my emotions. I was emotionally destroyed all over the place. So that's why I lost everything. I lost everything. That same year, everything went. The car went, money went. Well, the money went, car went, bank account went, she went. And some of my friends went too.
I've been there.
Some of my friends went too.
Oh, I've been there.
Right? That 2013, that's a good point. So 2013 was the transition year for me. But more, not spiritually, more mentally. That's when I got into network marketing for a couple of years. Being in that environment of philosophy switched me. That was where the paradigm shift was shifted with my mind. And even the beliefs of what I was even capable of doing as a person. Right? Capable of doing as a person. Right? Because I was capped. I always knew I was talented, but my mind was only at the level of whatever my peers were up until that point in my life. So when I got around people who were making 7 figures, 8 figures, and then one of them I got really, really close with, right, and became my mentor, and I went to his house, and so once these things started happening, I started seeing a new world, right, and a new possible of belief factor, right. And so 2013, absolutely. That's a year of change for me, of redesign.
Yeah, I could imagine what you've been through, man. Because I've been through losing a lot myself, man. Some of the things you mentioned, losing a business and a lot of money,
losing his mind,
losing my mind, losing a wife. Thank God, I went and I seek for the help. I found the help, and some of the things that we resist as men is going to look for help because our friends, a lot of our friends they can be only but so much they could be a therapist.
Did you get professional help? Did you seek a therapist?
I still take professional help. Yeah, because there was a lot of learned and routine behavior in me, even from the house that I grew up in. Which is one of the pinnacle reasons of why the relationship that I had with her dad, it wasn't just on her. Now, we as people we don't like to be say it's us, right? We're not self first. We don't say, well, no, wait, it was half of this was me first, and then we go into the person. We're opposite because we're taught to do that. From what we see in movies.
Well, what was wrong with you? What did you do?
But it was some of my learned behavior that I learned from my father, from watching the way he operates with my mom and things like that, growing up, that I was doing wrong with her. But see, I didn't notice these things because they were a part of who I was, but they were operating on their own. So subconsciously, I didn't know I was really doing it, and I would look at her like, what are you talking about? But then when my mind shifted and I started to look back at certain relationships, even my parents' relationship with each other, I said, oh, that's routine. I learned that being in the house. That's routine. And I was subconscious. Because that's all I saw. Remember, kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. They do what you do. And that's in all aspects. So I still get therapy now, but I don't care what people say. Like, yo, you're going to go to a therapist. Like, because we all jacked up.
Thank you.
We all jacked up. If you black, you jacked up.
Look, Jayson,
it's in the DNA.
Thanks for talking about mental health. Thanks for
very important
talking about clinical depression. Thank you for saying, and I still suffer from it, it's not as bad. Because guess what? First of all, the power of exposing something, once you expose something, it loses a lot of, not all of its power, but once I expose it, because it can stay alive in the darkness when it's a secret, it's something that I know I'm suffering from. As soon as I tell somebody else, it loses a little power. As soon as I tell a doctor, it loses. As soon as I tell a therapist, it loses a little. And then once I start speaking about it publicly, it's like, damn, you're telling on me. Because its power is more in me and you being one-on-one. Whatever it is. If you're homosexual, you're keeping it silent. If you abusing drugs and alcohol, you're keeping it silent. If you are a gambler, whatever it is, it needs to be one-on, whatever the illness, the spiritual sickness is, it just needs to be one-on-one with you. Because then it can mess with your mind and talk to you. Because guess what? You're just talking to it. But as soon as you start going, it's holding on to you, and you go, yo, I got this holding on to me.
Right.
Then it's like,
Right.
oh, shit.
Right.
And then you start talking more. It's just like, oh.
And that's what feeds our depression too, because we keep it in, and we don't want to relate.
You don't release it.
You don't release it.
Whatever you don't release stays with you.
Yeah.
Scripture too. Crucify flesh daily. You gotta battle that thing every single day. It's not
Yeah.
you gotta
Well, we got the spirit up in here. So listen, talk to me about your book, and then we're gonna talk about the topic of the day before we wrap this up.
Oh
Talk to me
yeah,
about your book,
I
man.
like his book.
Talk to me about.
So I have 2 books coming out. One is an audio book pertaining to it's an empowerment audio. You hear some stories of my life in there too, that are some overcoming things. That's going to be released this summer. And then we have the
Self-published?
Self-published. Everything self-published.
Okay.
Well, you gotta come back on.
Smart.
Oh, it's time to launch the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was really
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
plenty of
You
books.
gotta send copies.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Come with the copies. We'll sign them. We'll do a whole
Listen,
promo thing.
everything's right.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll do a whole promo thing.
Oh, I
Come
would
on
appreciate
back.
that.
We got you. Yeah.
Nothing but love.
Mm-hmm.
I could have bought Gucci. That book is about the time frame of 2013 to about 2017, where I was single. Right, I'm still single now, but I was like, just as a single man, just doing stuff I ain't supposed to be doing, and just hurting, right? And I talk about what single, not even just men, what people do when they're single and hurt, and the baggage wasn't put down, right? When they're carrying this baggage from one relationship to the next. Sometimes people get into the marriage like that. Carrying 4 different relationships of baggage into the marriage, you have no clue why this person's messed up. They all jacked up. So, I'll give you one snippet real quick. I'll give you one snippet real quick. Chapter 7, the fitting room, where I talk about how, you know, the fitting room, you go into the fitting room, try something on. If it don't fit, you jump right back out. I was living in my fitting room. Meaning I was trying things on that don't fit. I know these women don't fit, but I was staying. I just loved the way it looks.
Wow.
Right? The pants was all shiny, the shirt was all nice,
But
but it don't fit.
It don't fit.
But I was in the fitting room for 3 months, 4 months, a year.
So this gotta be a clip.
Yeah.
This gotta be a clip. We gonna promote this clip. That was me. Living in the fitting room.
But the book is moved off of, it's metaphorically, I'm speaking in every chapter. Everything is around a store. So I have another chapter called purchasing. I have another chapter called the waiting line. Right, when you're waiting online to make your purchase, I talk about, you know, the things you do when you're waiting in a relationship and things like that. So it all comes from the experiences that I had, right? That I went through.
I can't wait.
How long you been writing? You've been writing this book. You've been writing this book.
Oh, it's been written.
It's been written.
Yeah, it's been written. I just been making the anticipation for it. Cause actually, we put it out last.
You trying to build you up like, get you started.
I can't wait to see it.
Come on, Jayson Kerr. Give me our face.
I took a course on launching a book because some people just go do something. They don't seek any mentors or seek anything.
Right.
Always seek out somebody who's done it. You gotta put your ego to the side.
I mean, I heard, writing a book is based upon writing. It's almost like just writing journals every day. And you turn it into a book.
But to get a good, if you want to meet like 100,000 goal, you see a lot of people write books, you never hear them though.
That's true.
They never get broadcasted. Because they said one of the keys that you should do, I took a course and this guy is amazing. He said one of the keys you should do is build your brand up first.
Yeah.
Even if it takes 2 or 3 years, most people aren't patient.
Right.
Build your brand up first. If you have 1 million followers, 10% will buy whatever you put on online. Just off GP because I've been following you for 2
Like,
3 years.
that's Jayson?
Well, that's what I've been doing. The book been written. I'm just waiting. But there was also a point where I was gonna publish it through a publishing company, and they know my ex, and they said, why don't y'all do like a joint book? It was a great idea, but unfortunately, she's a gorilla, and she wanted more money than it was owed to her because I already wrote the book, and we couldn't come to a fair ground. But the idea was incredible. But that was one of the reasons I pushed the book back too as well. Yep. But yeah, that's
I can see that went.
And I'm a gorilla too, especially when it comes to business, money, and stuff.
Right.
I have a good balance, but there are some times we need to be a shark.
We'll come in more. Talk to me.
The audio series or the campaign that we do, the workshop. Okay, audio series is just a whole bunch of clips of stories and empowerment things that will change you, right? If you listen to it, a change is always necessary in people's lives. Sometimes a word, actually, it's all it takes is a word. You can bring somebody up, or you can put somebody down just with the word. Because words are feelings that goes into your emotions. Some people think, and I'm sorry, I be going off topic, but some people think the brain moves the body. It doesn't. The heart moves the brain, then the brain moves the body. If you really think about it, the heart controls the brain, and the brain controls the body off of emotions. Because if you're feeling a certain way, why do people kill somebody in the middle of the night out of nowhere? Because they've been dealing with this man who's been raping them for the last 10 years, and out of nowhere, they say, you know what, I'm done. Maybe they got that happened to them that night, and 5 minutes later, you find this man dead. Was it her mind? Because logically, killing someone is wrong, yes? In your mind, you're like, no, I'm going to go to jail if I do. Okay, what you did to me, I'm not going to kill him.
But your heart saying that.
But your heart is beat up. So was it her mind, or was it her heart that told her mind to make this decision?
I mean,
that makes some kind of sense.
For me, the heart doesn't have any neurological effect.
Not physically.
Physically.
Not
No.
physically.
So when you say the heart,
it's all mental.
Yes.
It's all mental.
That's what I'm sorry. Yes, that's what I mean. Because physically the heart has no type of emotion.
No.
But just in what we're saying as far as like emotions, we always go to the heart. Right. So that's what I mean. Good
yeah, I understand.
That's a good way to put it. But yeah.
Yes, it's all mental. When you with feeling, emotions, how you move in life, what are you thinking? It's all mental. It's all how you think.
True. I want you to tell people how they can find all of your social media links.
Sure.
How they can follow you, and just plug this stuff because I want them to be able to check you out.
So you can follow me on Facebook, Jayson J. Kerr. You can also follow me on my main page, Jayson Kerr / Building Our Dreams. That's where I do all my Monday motivation, my Tip Tuesday,
I saw a couple
my Saturday stories that I do. Also do a giving portion of just my time and myself by showcasing other people's business every Friday. I don't ask for anything for it. I just do it. Just a business that I've seen or know of that is doing well, and I just showcase them. So that's that. Those pages. My Instagram is everything's my name. Everything's my name. So Jayson J. Kerr or Jayson Kerr, you'll find me.
Real quick, who inspires you?
Dead or alive?
Doesn't matter.
Dead, Malcolm X.
Okay.
Alive. There's a lot of people. Holden Buggs inspires me. You can look him up. He's an incredible leader. Mr. Farrakhan, he inspires me.
Love him.
He don't get enough attention.
No. He gets too much.
T. Jakes inspires me. T. Jakes. I have every one of his books. Matter of fact, I'm rereading Soar for like the 5th time. I'm a big reader. I don't play around with reading and applying what I read. Yeah, I would say that's. I'm sure there's many more people, but those are four.
Yeah. And so listen, man. Thank you for coming. You know, you've been an inspiration to me. It was dope having you on. I knew I wanted, and these days.
He has to come back.
Yeah. He got to come back because we got to talk about some more stuff, and then we have some other topics. We're gonna get Jay back most definitely, man, and very insightful. And you know, like I said, I connected with his spirit, and I'm a little more selective these days who comes on the show.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and listen. So you know, before we close the show, man, you know, we gotta talk about this blackface, man. And look, I'm a Gucci guy. I got Gucci upstairs.
Damn.
And when I saw somebody hit me up and sent it to me because they know I'm a Gucci guy, and they sent it to me, and then I open this up and I see this image. And I'm like, Gucci.
But it's not just Gucci.
Come on, not you. I gotta come on, Gucci.
Yeah.
And the image of blackface. And my question is,
want me to play
that's why I saw many book is I could have bought Gucci. That's why when I saw the title.
How did this make it through?
Let's talk about that.
How did that make it through?
What you just said is
approval.
How did it get through? So many hands. How did it get through?
Right.
Come on, you know Jay, they carefully screen stuff before it comes out, man.
Okay, Jeff has a clip.
Compliments. Critics on social media slamming this $890 black turtleneck with a red cutout for the mouth. You mean to tell me no one saw the awful blackface resemblance? The luxury fashion label apologizing on its website and pulling the item, adding it is fully committed to increasing diversity throughout our organization.
Apologies are not enough. We need to see a real embrace of diversity and inclusion in leadership of these companies.
Prada recently pulled an entire collection of products depicting a monkey with bright red lips. And H&M hired a diversity leader after showcasing this online ad featuring a hoodie with the phrase, "coolest monkey in the jungle."
If people who look like me were working in the boardroom of Gucci, this product would have never been greenlit.
These fashion statements turn social faux pas trending for all the
Listen.
wrong reasons. Kathy Park, NBC.
How does this stuff make it through? How does, and so it makes it through because either one or two things. It's a bad fucking joke.
It's not a joke.
No, I'm just, look, okay, seriously, this is a bad fuck, or y'all motherfuckers sitting around and I'm cursing for a damn reason. It's my show. It's a podcast, not a goddamn curse. Somebody, y'all people who were the head of ready to wear and outerwear and all these different, nobody said, yo man, that might not fly. Y'all are that oblivious to what blackface is.
Well, today I saw Beyonce in a coat that said "Coon Chicken Inn." It's Sambo. Coon Chicken Inn was a restaurant in the South, and they had a few locations, and they had a picture of Sambo on the cover. So her jacket had a picture of Sambo, and this is a fashion thing they have right now. This is somewhere down the line. Someone said this is what is going to be accepted amongst everyone. Because Montclair not just did a jacket, they did a shirt, they did hats. Mm-hmm. They have a whole clothing ensemble line.
Yeah. And when you think of these
and Montclair did put out an apology, by the way.
Out the next. They are in the rooms going over the drawings, the sketches.
Right.
This is over time.
Right. And it just went through different people, different tables, different boards.
That's a great point.
So the question is, why is it still getting through?
And also, Jay, and at this time, when you have Northam, the Virginia governor,
mm-hmm.
There's been a series of stuff. This is a hot time. This blackface thing is a hot time. And you drop it now?
1% said, let's do this. 1%.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
because I'm looking up who owns these businesses.
I think it's all of them.
Who owns these businesses?
Because this. So the question is how to get through. If you ever want to find the root to something, if you ever want to find a root to a tree, you have to go to the seed, not the root. Because before a tree produces anything, it's a seed first, right? So let's think about this for a second. Let's get into. Let's do some diagnosis. What's the word? What did I say that right? Diagnosis.
Let's diagnose.
I dropped out of college for a reason. I put it real.
You know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean.
Let's analyze it.
Right.
So let's go deep. So you got Gucci.
Yeah.
How old is Gucci?
Oh wow.
Where was Gucci invented?
I don't know.
Back in the 1900s, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to places like Versace, like Prada. Prada's been out for quite a bit of time too. So is it possible? If these companies have been milestone fashion companies for way back in that time, where black people didn't have as many rights,
Italian,
right? Is it possible that the powers that be that own these companies, right? I'm talking about the old heads that still own these companies. Is it possible that the racism was still in them?
Yeah, they like
of course.
Right. So that means that it's possible that racism could be inside of these companies, rooted from years ago, right? So when these things pass through hands, they don't care,
right?
Because it's already a part of the way they think.
Absolutely.
So it's not a big deal.
Think of where it's from. These are Italian.
1921 Gucci started. 1921.
So they're about to celebrate, right? They're coming up on 100 years.
Yeah.
Years.
Italian. Have you been to Italy?
Gucci was founded.
Have y'all been to Italy?
No.
Never been to Italy?
No. They said it wasn't the
I
right
went
time.
to Venice, and in the lobby of the hotel, is still to this day a black face. Looks like he could have been Indian, but to me it looked like a black figurine. was like a waiter or a bellhop. And there was like 4 different figurines in this hotel.
Wow.
And I'm like, and they had it at different places, different resorts. So this is still common for them. This is still acceptable for them overseas.
Gotcha.
We may feel a little heavier here,
Mm-hmm.
but overseas in Europe and they still embrace it, and it's nothing for them to see it.
Well, Dapper Dan said, "I'm a black man before I'm a brand." Now you know Dapper Dan got the Gucci store.
Yeah.
So now he's like, "Oh wow." So I'm a black man before I'm a brand. Another fashion house has gotten it outrageously wrong. There's no excuse nor apology that can erase this kind of insult. The CEO of Gucci has agreed to come from Italy to Harlem this week to meet with me. Damn that. Along with members of the community of other industry leaders. There cannot be inclusivity without accountability. I will hold everyone accountable. That's big, guy. And yo, that he ain't have to do that, man.
And he's been doing business with them for a long time.
Yeah, and he's the CEO is coming to meet with him. Let me tell you something.
Listen,
They make a lot of money off of us,
Listen.
and they respect the black dollar,
Mm-hmm.
and the CEO is
Yeah.
flying over,
let me tell you,
going to Harlem.
just the result of this clothing fashion statement is not a respect of the black dollar.
No, okay.
Okay, and the only reason why they have Dapper Dan on their clothing, influencing their clothing line, is because hip hop is white. Now,
Okay,
So you gonna
okay.
hip hop
Yeah,
was
okay.
black
Okay.
in the 1980s, 1990s.
Oh, but Dapper Dan.
And that's when Dapper Dan was selling their clothes, their
Well, he's
clothing
been putting-
line,
yeah,
which
but-
that they were suing
But-
him
doing
for.
that since the
He
80s.
was, and they were suing
That's
him
true,
for
but-
using their brand.
Yes,
was
and
written.
then,
That was
all right,
written.
we know about the whole story, how they reconciled. They took him to court. He lost a lot of stuff.
Right.
They basically, the marshals and all of them, and the
And,
ATF and all of them.
They accused him for
And so-
copying the
I know
design.
that,
And
but
that's it.
I disagree with you. I think that there's black people are wearing Gucci and buying Gucci. When I go over
We
to
are.
Roosevelt Field, when I go over to Nordstrom's, when I go over to Manhasset, we up in there. Black excellence is up in
Let me
there
ask you a question.
buying that stuff.
Yeah.
Are we buying belts, shoes, hats, and like little accessories? Or are we buying clothing, like shirts, $890?
I'm up in there buying sweats.
Okay, everybody can afford that.
Yeah,
but
but-
because
Yeah, well, they could
they
afford the
can
big ones.
probably afford a belt,
Nah.
or they could probably
No.
afford.
So here's the thing.
No, I
You
see
both-
brothers
you both
with
are right.
jackets
Yeah.
and pants
Yeah.
and sneakers and belts and all of that. Even it's the black dollar. We did a show on that of how many billions. I don't know the exact, but the amount of money that's in the African American community
Mhm.
in this country is more than like I think 160 nations gross GDP.
Let me ask you a question.
That's true.
When did we start buying Gucci? And did we always buy Gucci, or is that just our fashion
It's-
way right now?
No, it's been
It's
like
our
the past
fashion
10
way.
years.
But this
Yeah,
has
10
always
years.
been their brand. You understand what I'm saying? We
No, but I'm
just
saying,
getting up
but-
on it
but-
for the
but
way.
he's coming.
Because actually people stop buying Gucci and they buy them more Fendi now.
Okay, why is he coming to Harlem, Mona?
Because he has to
He's-
stay face. He has to stay for public face.
Well, if it was just white kids buying it, why would he have to?
No,
come say face?
I'm not saying they just buying it, but why they have
He
it where they
respects
have
the black-
Dapper Dan is because
Yeah,
they
I mean-
have to say face.
Mona, he respects the black
Don't
dollar.
give me that.
So
They
wait, hold on.
respect
Let me
the black dollar
let
when
me
they put out
interject
that
for a little
shirt.
bit. Let me
Go ahead.
interject for a little bit.
He respects the black
You
dollar.
guys are both saying the same thing in two different ways,
Okay.
right? It's like a. So you're saying he doesn't respect the black dollar. You're saying he does.
She's saying that.
I'm not saying Dapper Dan. We're talking
She's
about
saying young white kids. I get what she said. She's saying that young white kids in hip hop that love hip hop are wearing it.
Yeah.
Because the hip hoppers are wearing
No,
it.
I'm-
And he's worried about. You're
I'm
saying
saying
he's
this is
worried
why
about how it's
Dapper
gonna
Dan
affect.
Is it right?
is
Is
why
it
they
right?
brought him on to
Well,
design their
You're
clothing.
both right.
Right.
Well, you're
Yeah.
both right. He respects and disrespects the dollar.
There you
It's the
go.
same. You guys are saying the same thing. You're both right.
But she's saying he's more worried about losing the white kids that are sentimental to us.
No.
That are
That's
no.
not what I said.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying the reason why they brought Dapper Dan in is not necessarily for our money. I'm saying it's because of what his hip hop influence is now.
Well, he did influence. You know,
no, of course, Dapper Dan is important.
Yeah, they're important. Yeah, because of course he put all
this
the
is not taking anything away
contacts
from Dapper Dan at all, because Dapper Dan created
so you're saying they're using Dapper Dan to reach white kids?
To design for them, yes.
No, I think no.
I
don't. That's where I think.
They don't.
No, I think he's meeting with Dapper Dan to save face for the culture.
Oh, he is meeting with Dapper Dan to save face. Period.
Because we're streaming.
Because let me tell you, even if put it like this, even if black people decided to boycott, you still have a lot of white people who say that's not cool. Even if you have a lot of white people who do support us in our, and everything. Right. So they will say, and they should be even more insulted. Why, as a white person, do you want to put me in blackface? That's insulting.
Okay.
A white person should be very insulted by that. Okay. So overall, he has to apologize overall. It's not just two black people. You have to save face for your company's sake.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what I was saying with Dapper Dan now, he's influential all over, especially when it comes to hip hop. And I'm saying as such a good representation of who hip hop was as far as like the design. That's when they brought him. There's no taking nothing away from him.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Well, next week we're gonna get more into the history of blackface. We're really gonna break it down because I want to do some more reading. Because before the show, we were talking about the history of blackface. There's another article, Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. There's another article talking about how white college students are using blackface because they suffer from, they're going through an identity crisis. And there's a whole article on that in the Washington Post. So I'm gonna take some time this week and read more about it so we can really get into it, break it down. But you know what? Trump has, I'm not blaming Trump for racism, but he stirred up a lot of this stuff for people to become a little more bold.
Yeah. You know what?
Now it's reaching different heights.
In my opinion, it wasn't so much Trump that stirred the pot, and y'all might disagree with me. The election of a black man into the Oval Office stirred the pot.
Yes.
It got the fire on media.
Started the Tea Party. Because where the hell is the Tea Party right now? Tea Party, where are you?
Because let me tell you.
They're not around.
No, because they separated themselves.
Yeah.
They started to disagree amongst themselves.
They started infighting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no, there's no more Tea Party, but they're still there, prominent in every other walk of life.
Well, listen, we're gonna solve the girls' problems on the next episode. Conversation believe gonna solve the girls' problems. What kind of powers do you have? Like if you was going out to actually, what would be your powers?
I don't have any powers.
If you was a superhero, what? If you was a superhero, what would be your powers?
That's a dope question.
You
can find a name for you right now.
Based off of superpower.
Yo, you go ahead.
Oh shit. What would be your powers, Jeff?
Wolverine, baby.
Wolverine? You would want
Slice
to
and dice?
I want to be able to live if somebody try to shoot me.
What?
What would be your
You
powers?
just want to be indestructible?
That's it.
What
What would be your powers?
Oh, I know what my powers would be.
I need to fly.
I know what my powers would
I need to fly.
be. Mind control.
Oh.
Mind control.
Guess what? I would want to be to disappear.
Okay.
Jason took the flying. I go with the disappear. What about you, Doug?
I don't know.
Snap a picture and make a phrase.
Super strength, like Incredible Hulk, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
super strength.
Damn, I thought you were
And
going
if
to say
I could control
Nightcrawler.
all of you?
Nightcrawler, man. You want to be Nightcrawler.
Well, with mind control, I just put something over my head.
No, that's
my
me.
superhero.
That's
Exactly.
My control is what? Who's my control?
Which mind,
Professor
motherfucker?
X. When he
I
can
got
do it
two-
to
I got
everyone's
two
mind.
heads.
By the way, did you know that Stan Lee made Professor X and Magneto for Malcolm and Martin?
Oh, yeah.
No, Stan Lee was a huge support. Even Black Panther was from the Black Panthers. Stan Lee was a huge supporter.
We did a show on that.
He was a huge supporter.
Well, listen, we're all, at the end of the
Much
day,
respect for him.
we're all superheroes and we got superpowers. And I just interviewed another superhero.
Yes, sir.
Jayson Kerr.
Right.
I like that.
And we ended in our usual fashion. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.
Yeah.
Yo, we gotta start doing that together.
What?
We love you, and there's nothing
We got
you
to
can
get
do
our
about
name.
it.
So trying to get our name together.
Momo? Good to meet you,
Nah, not Momo.
We gotta link up.
Look, let's take pictures. Let's take pictures, do the drop. I know it's late. We ran over.
Yeah. We ran
I
over.
can't wait for
because it was so good, man.
So good.
I wanted to chop it up with him more.
Yeah.
That's how we,
Yo, we gotta get that book, man.
I can't wait.
Yo, let's take these pictures.
Y'all have to connect.
Let's link up to another time.
Yeah, we
About
definitely do.
about the mentoring thing.
Yeah.
We can connect. I could even when I'm doing workshops, bring you in.
Yeah.
Shoot
Down for that?
I'm down for it,
When
man.
is this workshop?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need some money.
I want to do it on this side. I want to set up here. And
Yeah,
shoot.
I'm doing
Okay.
I'm doing a bunch of different
Mo, me,
things
you, and
now,
Jeff need pictures.
meeting new people.
Okay.
Okay. I want to be part of some stuff that I'm trying to. I want things to be in the right perspective too. 'Cause I'm still going through, some family stuff. I'm trying